So my childhood and early adolescence has been like any other kids. I never thought of myself, even as like a son of like an immigrant. I never saw myself as any different from any other American. Now it has been like exactly the same as any other American family. But then this recent approval of new travel laws and the travel ban has affected us personally at home. My name's Michael O'Neill. I'm 17 years old and I grew up in Garden Spot, Lancaster. So my dad, he grew up just outside Philly in a mostly Irish Catholic community. He's 100% Irish, and my mother is originally from Ireland. She immigrated here in 1987. That was in full swing of the Troubles and Margaret Thatcher and all those hostile relations between the Anglos and the Irish. And she came here. She wasn't exactly in an area affected by it. It was just outside the city of Limerick. It was almost always safe. There were a couple incidents here and there. No killings, nothing too bad, but still, it was getting to the point where it was police everywhere, very militarized, and just the U.S. was such a better place to be. The Troubles lasted from about 1960 to up until 1991, when the Anglo-Irish Non-Aggression Pact was signed and soothed relations. And but at the time, it was very hostile relations, and she didn't want to live with that anymore. And it was only getting worse up until the 90s. And there were bombings. She wasn't in the affected area, but it could have come to her, and she didn't know if it would. And the U.S., being gracious enough, granted her refugee status.
Michael O'Neill was then asked about his mother's journey from Ireland to America.
She left from Dublin International Airport with her 4 brothers, 1 sister. She came over with both her mother and father. She was, and just to clarify, she was never really in like a war-torn area or something. It was more just to get away from all the chaos that was going on in Ireland at the time. And at the time, the U.S. didn't have as stringent immigration laws, especially getting refugee status. So she already had family in Philly. So she just stayed with them, and eventually through college, Westchester University, they both my father and mother went to, and they met there. Started a family with me and my sister. So my childhood and early adolescence has been like any other kids. I never thought of myself, even as like a son of like an immigrant. I never saw myself as any different from any other American. And up until now, it has been like exactly the same as any other American family. Well, my family has never been too big on Trump's immigration policies, and always saw them as un-American, and the whole build the wall thing, and wanting to keep immigrants out of America. But he did win, and that was a little surprising. I didn't think our country would have thought that way, but it's what happened. But after the election and during his presidency this year, he had the whole repeal DACA, the travel ban, and for a while it seemed like he got a little more lenient with travel policies. But then this recent approval of new travel laws and the travel ban has affected us personally at home. It was actually only a couple weeks ago when the new immigration policies were approved, or just more simply, the travel ban was approved. And what it did is it revised the nuances of refugee statuses and what considered one to be a refugee. My mother never fully applied for U.S. citizenship. She was here on refugee status, and she's no longer considered a refugee.
It didn't only affect like Muslim countries now?
But there's revised immigration policies, and what considers one to be a refugee, which my mother does not qualify for anymore.
Yeah.
Well, she's still around now, but she might not be here for Christmas. which is something that's hard to go through, but we ultimately accept what is going on. And the neat thing is that that Europe and Ireland sponsors families of deported illegal immigrants. So we do get some reimbursement for flights and visits this year. But if the worst comes to worst, she won't be allowed back in. It was more of a gradual thing. Ever since Trump got elected, we knew it was a new country, new rules, especially with immigration. So it was something we knew was going to come, but we are just now realizing the gravity of it and how serious it is.